we're going to start our Greek drawing grid drawing. And what you'll need is a blank grid. Go ahead and put your name on that. And your hour, please. Always your first and last name, not just your first name. First and last name and your hour. And you'll need to pick out a drawing. You have several to choose from. So if one feels like it's a little bit difficult, then you could choose a different one. It's your choice. You're going to need 2 little frames that you're going to make with either sticky notes, you can use sticky notes, or you can outline one box and make a 3 by 3 box like that. Then you'll cut that out, cut the center part, and then you'll have a piece like this. So you'll need 2 of those. Do that in a different color than yellow. Don't use yellow on your frames. Then you need a yellow highlighter. A yellow colored pencil would work just fine too. So I'm going to start in space A1. Make sure that A1 is at the upper left-hand corner of your page. Don't turn it upside down. Your picture is upside down on purpose. The picture is upside down so that you're not thinking about what the object is. You're only thinking about the lines and the shapes and how they fall within each one of these squares. If you can draw the alphabet, if you can write your alphabet, you can do this. It's no more difficult than writing your alphabet. So you have to pay attention, you have to follow directions, and you have to focus on what you're doing. So take your highlighter, and you're going to put the grid, or the frame rather, on top of space A1. Now on my original, there's nothing in there. I'm going to shade that in. I'm going to shade that in. I have nothing to do. So I'm going to move to the next space, B1. Lay my grid, or lay my frame down. Move to B1. Nothing in there. I'm going to highlight it. Now I'm highlighting these, and you need to highlight these so that you're not accidentally putting your frame in the wrong space. You need to make sure that each one of these squares has 4 smaller squares within inside of it. And you need to look at the outside. So if you need to run your finger down, then do that. But you need to make sure that you're in the right space. So this indicates a space and this indicates a space. Where they converge, that is C1. So I'm going to lay my frame on C1. I'm going to move this frame to C1 and outline it. I'm sorry, I'm going to highlight it so I know that that one I'm taking care of right now. Okay, so in the top 2 squares here, there's really not much of anything. In this lower right-hand square, I can see there's a line that starts at that lower, in the lower left hand of this square here. That line starts there. I can see there's a line that goes right over these 4 converging lines here. I'm going to make a line there. And then I'm going to look at this quadrant, this quarter right here, and I can see that that line almost comes all the way to the side. So I'm going to make a little dot where that ends up. Then I'm going to connect the dots. And if yours is not exactly perfect, that's okay. But if you don't follow the grid at all, then it won't work. You have to follow the grid. And my angels, I know if you follow the grid. I know. I will know. So now I'm moving it over to D1. And there's nothing in D1. So I highlight it so that I'm not going to accidentally get my frame in that space again, because it's done. And it is so frustrating. It is so frustrating to get the drawing perfect and then realize, oh, I did it in the wrong space. But if you do that, then you have to erase and start again. Erasing is not a problem, y'all. Erasing is part of the process. Part of the process of drawing is erasing. You haven't done anything wrong. You made a mistake. That's not wrong. That's one step towards success. So there's nothing in this space. I highlight it so that I do not put my frame over that one again. And that's all I've got. Now, in F, there's nothing in F. I'm going to highlight that F all the way down to 10F because there's nothing in there. I'm going to highlight this all the way down to 10F. I'm going to run my finger along and make sure that I'm in the right space. And then I'm going to highlight the row 10 to make sure that I'm not in that space. Okay. Now, don't fill in. This is one whole square here. There are 4 quadrants, 4 smaller squares within this space. Don't fill in just 1 or 2 or even 3 of these spaces. Do the entire space. Okay, so then I'm going to look at 2A. There is nothing in 2A. I'm going to highlight it. Nada. Nothing. Zip. Done. Then I'm going to move it over to 2B. To be or not to be? It is not to be because there's nothing there. Nada. There's nothing there. Move over to C. 2C. Whoops. 2C. Okay. Now, in 2C, I have a line that's going to connect to 1C. I need to make sure that after I draw this on, then I double check to make sure that it actually matches up. Don't wait till the end. It will get very confusing for you. You need to do that one square at a time and make sure that you're getting the correct shapes and make sure that they are connecting. So I have, this one is overlapping this vertical line right here, so I'm going to make a little dot right there. Then it comes to about here, which is a little bit, it's not halfway in between this space here. It's close. And then this line down here. And it's about halfway in between that space. I'm going to draw that line in. And I can't really see that line very well because it's kind of under the frame. So I'm just going to lift that up. I'm going to look because I have these yellow lines on here. That's going to be easy for me to lift it up and realize that right here is where that line goes. Right there. Okay, then I'm going to double check and make sure I have these lined up. Go over that. And then I'm ready to move my grid to 2D. 2D. Move this one to 2D. I'm going to highlight it. And I'm going to draw what I see. There's nothing in these 2 quadrants here. This half, there's nothing at all. This quarter right here, there's a little curve right here. It doesn't go all the way to the edge or to the corners here. I'm just going to draw that little curve in. And then there's a diagonal line that starts right here. And it goes a little less than halfway right there. Then I'm going to lift it up. And I'm going to see, is there anything that I missed there because the frame was in the way? I did miss something. I missed where this line should connect to C. C2. So I'm going to put that back on C2. I'm not going to wait and come back and fix that stuff because if I wait, I'll get confused. Excuse me, I'm trying to give a lesson here, Missy. All right, so I missed that line right there. Starts there, ends right about there, curve. Now I'm going to lift it up, see if I matched. If they don't quite match up, I'm going to make them match up. I'm going to make it work. It's a make it work moment. Okay. Now I'm on to 2E. Okay, highlight it so I don't get confused. Then I'm going to mark where it begins and ends, right about here and right about here. And then make that line. Then lift it up, see if it connects to the last line I made. And it looks like it's pretty much in the right spot, right there. Could maybe be a little bit longer there. Okay, now I have the first 2 rows done. I'm going to go ahead and fast forward now and let you watch and fast forward. Keep in mind, each one you're going to move the frame. You're going to highlight it. If you don't highlight it, it gets really confusing. All right, I'm going to continue and